Alright, I'm finally getting around to recording this video, and this is basically the highlights from Jamz games, where he got 13th at Dreamhack Anaheim. We're going to be looking at the back-to-back second place, just looking from like third circle. And this is basically everything I was doing for him while live coaching him. Live coaching is a bit of an iffy subject, but they allowed it at Dreamhack, like a lot of players were having it done. I didn't do this for any of the opens or semis, I just did this for Jamz for finals. And it's basically all the stuff we went over in notes and VOD review, right? All of this stuff just before the event, as well as we'll skip all his early game stuff because that's pretty boring. Like, he was uncontested, did some data overnight for that. But we're just gonna be looking at his endgame, what we went over in notes, and I'll draw some stuff with Epic Pen and just basically go over everything that's important in this meta for you to be focusing on, because the meta is exactly the same, right? The only difference is now there's launch pads. It really doesn't change too much because you can still play the game exactly the same if you don't have a launch pad. It's just you need to be focusing on the correct things. So we're going to be going over that. And then we'll look at the notes, and then we'll basically just get into this, okay? Okay, so this game, Jamz was really shambles. He got sniped a couple times. Honestly, avoiding snipes in these really laggy classic games is pretty near impossible. But you can just look at his positioning here. He had to refarm this house because he was very low. Cracks this guy. And this guy dies. Thing is, when somebody dies like this, is you need to be 100% instinctive on just, I'm going for this, right? Look at his stuff. He's not going to do well this game at all. He's not even going to get placed most likely with his loot. He has to just go for this. You can't sit there and wait 20 seconds to see if somebody else goes for it. You have to just commit to it straight away. He double checks if it's clear and then goes. Nice. Let's go tunnel in here. One of these big things with 4th zone, right, is obviously 4th zone is before 5th, which in out. You always need to be very elevated on 4th zone. Basically, especially in this current meta, to look for a pad, but in this old meta, just to get for a tarp you could recycle. Also to get like beams on people. So he basically topped in on a high level and then went up one more. Okay, right now this is kind of illustrating like a very important concept with half zone, right? So you can see here basically half and half out, right? It's pretty obvious, but nobody really thinks about this. Is you see where it's half out, that's always going to be completely dead side. There's going to be nobody there at all. And it's more so like this, where there's nobody in there at all. So Jamz comes back into this side here, and it's going to allow him to have a really free rotate for first moving. Getting a good first moving is pretty complex because you need a lot of things to go in your favor. There's 40 other people moving in the zone, right? So being on the complete dead side where there's nobody else is really important. Alright, this is another really important concept for first moving zone, and basically understanding how people are going to behave in the next moving zone and what you can do to give yourself an advantage. Because mats obviously are running out here, it's going to be harder to get impact kill, and this is basically something you can do to get more reliable impact kills, refreshes, put yourself in a better spot for second moving if you still have mats, if you've padded or something like that, right? So imagine zone has pulled from straight down here, right? It's obviously wide as it comes in, then it constricts in, so we'll draw this in big scale. So zones are kind of like that, not the best circle. It's pulled from pretty much straight down here, like this, right? And the 5th zone obviously is down here. So where's the congestion going to be on this moving zone? There's obviously going to be some people back here with floppers, right? But where is everybody else going to be? They're going to be congested in basically this like third of zone here. If you ever watch any of replays with like all the players dots on it or triangles, you'll see this exactly. So that's basically where the majority of the congestion is. So what you want to aim to do is put yourself deeper into this zone, anywhere in this kind of like upper square. Obviously not the whole way over here, but just towards the center line rather than this like third line. So if you put yourself here a little bit deeper, or even towards the edge here, right? If you're in any of these spots, you can imagine as zone goes further, if zone doubles far, what's going to happen? It's going to be easy for you to just keep going front side, right? Keep ramp tunneling, keep saving mats and stuff, right? All these people are stuck back here. If zone goes any of the diagonals, same thing. If zone goes sideways, right, this way, it's going to be very easy for you to do an efficient tarp again, right, over around this way. If zone goes this way, it's going to be very easy for you to do an efficient tarp around this way, right? Using this edge like as a free wall, right, just so you save mats. Very simple things. And then also one of the biggest things is getting a refresh kill. And Jamz in this game does have harpoons, so you're going to see how he plays. So where do you want to get a harpoon kill? Basically, a harpoon allows you to get a refresh kill without box fighting whatsoever, right? Without taking the risk of shotgun trades or getting one pumped or something stupid, right? So you can look for a refresh kill the whole way here. You can hold people in edge zone. You can hold people the whole way back here, right? With floppers, you can look for people. You can even possibly look for a hype play if you have RPG or you have the mats to go for it, right? This spot, like center of first moving, allows you to do so much. So you're gonna see what Jamz does once I clear this. What does he do? I'm shouting him to go up because his layer was kind of bad. Keeps going, he gets a little bit deeper, gets 6 mats, refresh kill, and harpoon, insta, right? Look how easy that refresh kill was, right? Let's watch that though. Look how perfectly easy this refresh kill was. He's deep in zone, he's got a whole extra top going the whole way back, and he looks back perfectly at this, what you call choke point, right? Choke point in the other game. It's basically where people are getting funneled towards you, right? Insta kill. Doesn't get the loot because it gets yoinked, but it doesn't honestly matter. Now, as we go back, as we said, right? So all the people are congested down on this end. What's going to be free? This whole edge up here. Remember those 3 things, right? Your front side, your edge, and your layer, right? His layer is already perfect, honestly. His edge is going to be really good up here. He's just towards the back side of the zone. So what's he going to do? He's going to book it towards the front side, right? Keeps booking it. Look how cheap these tops are. A little bit of a high level here, but he kind of gets away with it just because Height's not really looking at him, right? Now as soon as Height looks at him, he looks at a refresh again. Kills epic. Nice. You see that little slight change there? As soon as that guy gets onto his layer, where he'd be on the floors, right? Layer doesn't just mean the layer you're actually on. It means the one below and one above, as well as the one you're on. So as soon as that guy gets there, he swaps to more towards edge. Gets front side, and this is where I start shouting him, look at Height. Second moving is one of the freest times to look at. He also has floppers he can play for. He has harpoon, also Sky. His aim was so good in this tourney, like I think he wasn't missing shots or anything. In a second, you hear me shouting, look at Height. He's in zone here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is where he did take Height with floppers, right? He wasn't able to keep spraying and actually go for the refresh kill. So he's basically just put himself in the spot where he's taken Height late with floppers. He's very healthy, right? And he's in a 1v1. And it's against Rex. Forgets to reload, has to reload, and then kind of whiffs. And he dies to Rex from 20 HP. Honestly, if he won that, he could have easily placed, like, top 5. Only thing is, like, that little checklist thing with checking his shotgun ammo, or just, honestly, I would have said, like, while he was here, if I was to review this with him, I'd say, play this perfectly, don't peek yet, he's going to take Kai. Here, he should have just full reloaded everything and stayed under, and then wasted harpoons, but it's really not that big of a deal. Like, getting second place in this format, where you get bonus points for it, as well as the, you get, like, 52 points or something, for getting second, that was a really good game. Alright, we're going to cut to next game and then have a look. Alright, on to the second game, and this is the game where he doesn't get half zone, so we're going to see how he rotates there and doing a little bit of pre-planning. And then also how he gets up the hill and basically uses his elevation for his advantage. His setup here is pretty good, right? Doesn't have harpoon, so he has to play a little bit different. Also, shield is good. Whenever you have a game like this where you've got good shield, you can afford getting tagged on a rotate just so you save mats. His mats are really good though. Just because he has really good macro positioning, basically. Even though the zone was pretty bad for him, he's got in a really good spot. Okay. Let me do that again. Alright, on to the second game, and we're basically going to be looking at how he rotates the half-half, and then also how he gets up to first moving. I'm basically focusing on a height take in solos, which is very difficult, especially in stack solos, as well as how he uses his shield and utility. In this game, he doesn't have harpoon, he has extra shield though, right? Which means he can afford to get tagged on just getting a free rotate to save mats. But even so, his mats are really good. Alright, so basically right now what he needs to be focusing on, really good above Storm Surge, I think he got like, a lot of AR tags. So what he needs to be focusing on is basically pre-planning his rotate. So if you think in terms of directions, north, east, south, west, right? And then also the 8 other directions, right? So north, northeast, east, south, east, south, right? He needs to be focusing on how he's going to rotate to those 8 directions, right? So what I like to think of and tell people to think of is he doesn't need to pre-plan these zones here or here, right? Those will be very easy. What he needs to focus on instead is planning his 3 major directions, which will be up here, the whole way over here, right, and then down here. So northeast, east, and southeast, right? So how he'd rotate to these 3 would be straight through the middle, kind of this side wrap, okay, and then this other side wrap. And basically, if he would do any of these rotates and have the pre-plan for it, so how would he rotate for this south wrap with the way he's looking, right? He'd probably book it out of his box, try to go towards these builds, maybe go over them, maybe go under them, and then he'd rotate around there. He's obviously doing a lot in his head to just pre-plan it. So that would cover off his rotate down here, right, to the southwest, and also his south rotate, just to get over there. So he's already planned out all those directions just to get over to this side. Through the middle one, a bit different, but obviously just going through the middle is pretty important, because if you think there is other ways you can do this rotate from here to here, or to here to here, right? If this spot in the middle is free, or there's a lot of congestion there where you can get to, obviously depends, then you can rotate there on your own. As well as this whole north side wraps where he's basically covering off this up top one here, and then the north rotate as well. Okay, let's have a look at this game. Okay, right now he's booked it. Thing is with pre-planning, right? If you have a solid pre-plan in your head and you're confident and you're not like nervous about it, right? You can literally just go instantly, right? You can just go straight away and you can get at least a decent chunk. Even if he was to go like a decent way in, maybe to like here and then get tagged, right? He'd just pop his big pot, doesn't matter, and his mats are still really good. But what can he do from there? Now that he's got that little bit of a jump on other people, right? Is he can stop, he can pre-plan again, he can either go along that wrap up top, he can white line it again, or he can even cut through the middle of the zone, right? There's a lot of different options once he gets that immediate cut through zone. Here, white lines it again, he gets tagged, and this is the thing, he gets tagged, and he's going to able, I'm not going to go through all that OOPDA stuff that I like to do with people, just because it's a little bit complex to explain it in the video. Gets the whole way in, he gets tagged once, doesn't matter, he's able to keep white lining it, a little bit sketchy going through the bush, but whatever. And this is where he needs to try getting a lot of space for himself. On and out zone, it's very easy to die if you're in a single box, right? It's very easy to get multiple sprayed, but if you build multiple boxes and just waste mats, like, why would you not waste mats here? He's very good on mats and shield.
Go up, but everyone's gonna be here. Huh? Yeah.
So right now you can see the importance of having all this space back here. It's allowed him to look back for angles and sight lines, builds even more space. Claiming all this room right now might not seem that important, but it prevents him from dying and also gives him really easy opportunities to get sight lines, first of all, and then also sight lines for moving zones. He gets this basically max match refresh just from having all this space to himself. Also capitalizing on it was pretty intelligent. Harpoon, I commed him. He gets it, really nice. Another person dies in zone. He kills repels.
I've got zone towards that. Oh my god.
Okay. Right now, first moving pops. What is really important on the first move? When it's in first game, right? First of all, getting front side, right? He is already front side. What is the problem with being front side here? Is that he lacks an edge, right? He's basically, all of these things, as I said, was to stop yourself, like, just to free up mental space and free up, like, saving mats, right? So the edges are going to be here as it cuts in, and then here as it cuts in again, right? And then 3, layer, right? Low ground is possibly, like, the worst layer you can have. As a general rule of thumb, the higher up you are, there's only ever one person on high ground, there's maybe, like, 2 people mid ground tarping, and there's going to be, like, so many people on low ground, right? All clustered up together like this, all just running around. Which is why it's so important for you to get a good layer and to get good edge, even if you're front side. There's no point being in this spot here and then staying at the spot here, because what's going to happen is every single person is going to get on top of you in a second, right? You're going to lose walls, people are going to take walls ahead of you, you're just going to get shot, all sorts. Also, in the meta now of a pad, right, it's going to be very difficult for you to pad in any one of those situations.
They're going up a mountain.
Okay, right now this is the importance of marks. Using marks on 3rd and 4th zone is pretty important, same with 5th. But using your 1st zone mark is really important, because otherwise, honestly, I can guarantee there's 34 people alive. Only about 20 of them, only about 10 of them probably, have realised that it's going straight up a hill, right? Jamz marked that without even visually checking. Now he visually checks and sees how free it is. Gets up, Makes a lot of room for himself. So this is the first layer swap of like many. Another layer swap, goes up another layer. His edge is still pretty bad here, but you can see him kind of creeping towards this edge, right? This edge over here. Let me do it. So now with a couple layer changes, he's gone up 3 layers. He still needs to be focusing on his edge, right? He's still front side, good. He still needs to be focusing on his edge though, right? Thinking of where half pulled, it was kind of up here, right? This was half in, this was half out. Where's the dead side going to be? Most of these people are going to wrap in here. Majority of people in this area of the zone are going to be on this edge. So this edge here is going to be way more clustered than this edge. So he starts working over there, but honestly it doesn't matter that too much just because of how high his layer is, right? The higher up you go, the less important your layer is, apart from you can get shot from multiple angles. Okay, right now I spam him or shout at him to say keep going up layers. Another layer swap, really nice building. Another layer swap 2 times. Keep starping. Now look at his edge, right? I'm not sure if he intended to do this, but he's perfectly on his edge, right? He's still front side and he's still in a really good layer. Okay, he's in zone here. Keeps going up again. This is the importance of getting deep in zone, because where's the cluster going to be? Especially on the choke point of the hill, right? All of the cluster is going to be down here, right? Everybody's going to be in this little funnel here. It's going to be hundreds of people going for plays in Storm with floppers and stuff, right? And it's very easy for you to have pop-off games, like doing like in that area where he's marked on edge zone. It's very easy to have like a pop-off clip there, but the consistent gameplay is just wasting mats so he gets onto a really good spot here. Because what's it going to allow him to do, right? Okay, right now we'll pause it just before 5th zone, or thingy zone that's closed. Okay, so this is in out zone, right? It's kind of come down like this, perfectly. Oh, that's fucking shocking. Alright, so this is first moving. It's kind of come down like this. So that's going to be the really congested side up here. Where's Jamz? He's in this spot. So what's it going to be really easy? If zone doubles this way, it's going to be really free for him. His edge here is going to be really good to just build. If zone doubles over this way, obviously it's going to be kind of far, but he's got a really free edge here, right? He can just get a very easy layer. And as soon as you've got like the layer and the edge, it's very easy for you to get front side because you're not going to be getting held or anything, right? And if zone doubles far this way, or zone doubles far any of these directions, right, it's going to be extremely free for him basically just to cut onto front side. Okay, right now zone doubles extremely far, but you can see the advantage of having a really good layer, right, and also being towards the edge. Just look how free this rotate is. White lines it, and that's kind of where he has the mental space earlier to pre-plan these kind of zones. And obviously this is something we've done a lot, is just making sure he's pre-planning his zones for second moving, because it's so important. As soon as zone goes that, he just immediately just builds up and cranks and then gets and books it to front side, right? Shouting him to keep going front side here. Goes for height take, beautiful. Literally the freest height take I've ever seen. Height take with free builds. He didn't really look for a proper refresh kill earlier. Gets really good mats off that. Kills Savage. Only 4 people were left. You might ask why there's only 4 people left on second moving. It's because of the hill, right? Nobody else was doing what Jamz was doing to go up the hill. Okay, right now I just said you're really good mats and he's got a purple tack to be confident in himself. So I swear, like a lot of people, as soon as they get in a 1v1 situation, they know it's a 1v1. They just get like kind of nervous just because it's obviously a lot of stakes in these fights. But with a purple tack, you really have nothing to fear just because it's so broken. Okay, right now in high ground 1v1, he knows the guy on low has way more mats than him, right? Just because he got all the siphon mats as well as the extra mats the guys on low had. Like Jamz killed Savage and then got another person really low who died. So this Alec, who has basically all of the mats of the other guys. So Jamz goes low and tries looking for mats here. Gets a little bit of refresh, forgets about the other mats, so I tell him to double back. Gets 150 mats. Honestly, how he could have played this is not peek at all and just stay closer and then wait for Alec to make like a peek and then go for a trade. Obviously, Alec on high has a purple pump, so he's kind of limited in what peaks he can do. He does like a lot of high builds here. And then he goes out for this. He goes for this edit out play. Alec realizes and then cuts him off like that. And then now he's very limited builds and just falls and gets ulted. maybe he could have done a better job of looking for mats in Storm with a harpoon, just so he could play that a little bit different and not making such an obvious breakout play. But the thing is with these situations is he's never been in a game like this stacked, right? Apart from the one like 10 minutes before. So he played extremely well, considering, right? Basically doing everything he needed to do, just get really consistent in games. He got another 5th, and then a 15th, and then like a 30th and stuff. And his other games were pretty bad, but just having like 3 consistent games, or like 4 consistent games out of 8, allows him to just have a really good tourney. He got 13th overall, which is like 6k or something. Alright, if you learned anything from this video, please give it a like. If you enjoyed it as well, please share it. And I'll just quickly go over the notes from Jamz. This is basically all of his stuff early. He got early game completely uncontested. Me and Speedy did overnight analytics every like 4 hours between us. Where he was completely uncontested. He was landing like between Sweaty and Holly, his houses with a henchman base now. P-God was free, Festal was free, Crew and Masef were free as well, their drops, which was really good. I think Kanada was also free for Speedy, who had a really good tournament. I think he got 12th, one above Jamz. Anyway, Jamz got like 4k from this. He also like had a really good social. I'll leave all his social links below. He streams in Spanish mainly, or Italian even, mainly. So you can see all his chat like freaking out over him. Energia, I don't even know what that means, for energy, right? But if you enjoyed this video, just give it a like, and this is basically all the notes that we went over. And if you want to book any coaching yourself, then everything is on this website. You can auto-schedule everything. I'll leave a link in the description as well. Solo VOD review, bundle session for solos, and at duos as well. Alright, see you later, boys.